Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, September 18th, 2020. We're again in the final day of the trading week, and we are in the final hour of the trading day. The final hour of the trading day, and in particular the last few minutes of the day, are my preferred time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. This is because during the day you have the algorithms, you have the day traders, they are in control of the price. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they start waking up, they start making their moves, placing their trades. They're dealing with an awful lot of money, and that takes control of the pricing away from the day traders and algorithms. I consider them the smartest money on the street. And so I like to make my buying and selling decisions based upon what is happening at the end of the day. So thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate it. I always look forward to seeing everyone in this group. Everyone contributes so much to it. It's just so great. Kamal with the scan and Frank with the poems and just so many people that contribute so many things. So thank you all for coming. Well, another red day today. Dow Jones is down 256 points, down 0.92%. The NASDAQ is down 148 points, down 1.36%. And the S&P is down 40 points, down 1.21%. So it's been a very volatile week. Things have really changed. Since September 1st. That September 1st was when we had that first big down day, and things have been a lot different ever since then. So here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. I have had some nice day trades today. I will share those with you as well. After that, we're going to take a look at your current positions that are up on the board, and we'll see how those are doing. After that, we're going to switch gears, talk a little bit about trader psychology. Most important part of trading, you do have to learn technicals and entries and exit, support, resistance, all that kind of stuff. Yes, you do. But after that, you learn that so that you can make a plan. After you make a plan, then you have to follow it. And that's where the trader psychology comes in. It's a very important part. So we're going to spend a few minutes there. After that, we are going to go down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I look to enter a trade. The first requirement is I want to have a good confluence or combination of indicators lining up. I consider indicators like MACD, RSI, moving averages. I consider those potential groups of buyers. That's how I look at it. And if you're going to put yourself in the best position to have a profitable trade, if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible. And so that's how I like to do that, looking for confluence, combination of indicators on multiple time frames if possible. Number 2, you have to have a good risk to reward. You can have a great setup, but the risk to reward doesn't make sense. So you always have to keep that in mind as well. 2 to 1 is my minimum. If I'm going to risk $100, I want to be able to make $200 or more to the upside. And then number 3, I think people don't think about this enough, but take a look at how many positions you have. Take a look at how many correlated positions you have. And it's best to have a diversification of holdings, of stocks, and even to get outside of stocks such as oil, gold, bonds, silver, for even further diversification. So I'm going to go down through the results of the scanner. If something looks good, I will put it in the potential category. Something looks bad, I'll get rid of it. And then at the end of the day, I'll take a look at the potentials, go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and see if I can find the very, very best setup at the end of the day that meets all 3 of my requirements. After the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, needs any clarification, please let me know. Happy to do that for you. If there's any stock symbols that you'd like me to look at before the market closes, go ahead, put them in the chat, and I'll do my very best to get to them before the end of the day. Put an emoji by it so I know it's time sensitive. And then after the market closes, if you have any new positions, any changes in your positions that are up on the board, such as any new entries or new exits, if you could please be so kind to just wait till the end of the day after the market's closed. That way I'm done trading, done teaching, the pressure's off, and we'll get them all squared away for you. All right, so that's the plan. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, so Kamal is here. Hey Kamal, good to see you, my friend. Appreciate chatting with you today. Kamal and I discuss trades, talk about trading, other stuff during the day, and so it's always nice to have Kamal as my trading partner, so to speak. Johan is here. Hey Johan, good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well, sir. Johan says, hi everyone. Brian says, happy Friday all. Greg, I saw your buddy Liz Ann Saunders on CNBC today. Old Liz Ann was there. Yeah, she doesn't talk to me anymore after I skipped one day of the overnight SPY trade. She felt that was a betrayal. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know her. Jose is here. Hello, Jose. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming. I think this is the first time I've seen you here, so thank you very much. And if there's any questions, please let me know. Dan says, hi, Greg and Gossett Group. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Tracy Peterson is here. Hello, Tracy. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day as well. Hope if Paxton's there, you'll tell him hello for me. Evan is here. Hi, Evan. Good afternoon to you. Rami. Hello, Rami. Hi, Greg and all. Hello, Rami. Thanks for coming. Miko25. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Hope everything is doing well with you and the family. Frank is here. Hello, sir. Frank, the trading poet. Always nice to have Frank in the group, and thanks for everything you do, Frank. Gary M says, hello, Greg and group. Another interesting day. Boy, I would say this has been a crazy week for sure. Glenn is here. Hey, Glenn. Hi, Greg. S&P still on sell signal with the 5 below the 20 SMA and MACD negative. Would need to see a close above 34.29 before entering any new trades. All right. I like how Glenn has his rules. That's really good. So you're saying 34.29, we're at 33.13. So that seems like a little bit of a ways away, huh? Let's take a look. Yeah. The thing is, see, we're pulling away. The longer we stay under this 50 and pull away from the 50, the more bearish it is. You know, we could have a rally back up to the 50, but that 50 is now resistance above us. Here it was support, here it was support. Now we've dropped below it. What once was support now becomes resistance. And the further we go down and the longer we go down under that 50, the more likely it is. I mean, we may get some consolidation, but it's more likely that we may then have another leg down. I don't know that for sure, obviously, but that's just kind of how I look at it. The longer you can stay above a moving average, the better. The longer you can stay below the moving average, worse. David is here. Hey, David, hope you're doing well with your shoulder. Hello, Greg and group. Hey, Frank has a poem for us. Take ownership of your stocks. Right or wrong, short or long, you made the call and pride comes before the fall. That's true. So whether you made money or lost it all, it was your decision to stand tall. Oh man, they get better and better, Frank. Let's do it one more time. Take ownership of your stocks. Right or wrong, short or long, you made the call and pride comes before the fall. So whether you made money or lost it all, it was your decision. So stand tall. It's true. You know, you have to take ownership of your wins and of your losses as well. You can't blame it on the TV or somebody else. You know, before you enter a stock, make sure you have a plan. Make sure there's a real reason to get in, position size correctly, put the trade on, and that's all you can do. You have no control over it after that whatsoever. But you do have control of when you get in, and you do have control of adjusting for volatility and position sizing correctly. After that, you just put it in, like Mark Douglas says, you pull the wheel on the slot machine and something's going to happen. You just don't know what's going to happen. It's either going to go up, which is great, or it's going to go down and you have to get out quickly if you're wrong. That's it. That's really it, everyone. Pretty simple. Pretty simple, I must say. Okay. Where are we at now? Dow Jones is down 219 points. S&P's down 126, so that's come back quite a bit. I'm sorry, NASDAQ is down 128. That's come back quite a bit. And the S&P down minus 37. Today's triple witching hour, triple witching Friday. We have a lot of options expiring. People are going to make changes in their options, repositioning and so forth. So we could definitely have a wild finish here to the day. We shall see. All right. Let's take a look at current positions, see what's going on. All right, who else is in this with me? Just yes. All right, I did buy Eli Lilly yesterday. I like this higher low V1. I bought it here at 152.36 on the weekly. I also like that we triggered a V2 on the weekly, return to value, sideways motion, V2. Looks like we have a 520 cross on the weekly and a V2. Got in a little early yesterday with the higher low V1, bought it at 152.36, took off one profit target today at 153.89, is up $1.88, is up $1.23 today, which is pretty nice considering it's a down day. Yesterday it was up also with a down day, and that was another reason I decided to take the trade because it was showing good relative strength. It was green on a red day. So anyway, so far so good. The only thing I have to watch here is the 50-day moving average. If we close below the 50-day moving average after being above it, I will take off half of my position. That is one of my rules. If I enter and it goes up, rejects the 50, I would take off half the position. If it goes up, rejects the 50-day moving average, I would also take off half the position. Currently, it is holding above the 50-day moving average, so if it closed here right now, as is, no problem. I would just go ahead and keep it, but I'm very grateful that that's up nicely today. SPY. Real quick, speaking of Liz Ann Saunders, here she is, the famous Liz Ann Saunders. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk, and I sell it first thing the next morning. I do this based upon a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann. She's at Bespoke Invest on Twitter since 1993, tested two approaches. Approach number one, buy the SPY at the open, hold it through the day, sell it at the close. This approach done every day since 1993 would actually return a negative 13.9%. However, do the opposite. This is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell it first thing the next morning. This approach, positive 634.2%. Past performance, no guarantee of future results, but if I'm going to allocate money towards a trade, it's going to definitely be to the side of the back test that has the profitable approach, which the buy at the close, sell the next morning does. Blue line, you can see this is the buy the close, sell the next morning. Over time, all it has done is gone up. There are significant drawdowns, so you have to position size conservatively because you're going to get whomped up on for possibly multi-years here, but I'm just taking the long view approach on this. But the interesting thing about this trade is we all know the stock market's been up since 1993, but this back test shows you that all the gains, every single gain in the stock market has come from the overnight session. It has not come from the daily session. A friend of mine told me yesterday that I think she was on CNBC, and maybe that's what who just mentioned that? Brian. Oh, maybe that's what Brian had mentioned. Yeah, up there. He told me, I think it was last night, that Liz Ann Saunders was talking about the overnight SPY trade. So, listen, it's not it's not a high probability trade. It's not something that you can take and just go, oh, wow, I'm definitely going to make money on this. You just don't know, everybody. But yesterday I got whomped up on really good. I bought it here on Wednesday, sold it here for a big loss. But yesterday I bought it at 335.84, sold it this morning for a loss at 335.35. So not too bad. But this is just one of those trades that I just put on every day, and pull the lever and see what happens next morning. Sometimes you wake up, you're like, oh, fantastic. Sometimes you wake up, you're like, not so fantastic. So it's not an easy trade, but the numbers do say over time it does work well. But it doesn't mean it's going to work in the future. I will buy this again today at the close. But of course, by looking at this chart, I'm very glad that I got out of it that I got out of it right at the open, which was the high. Zynga. Let's see. All right, so Gary, Yas, and Quad and myself, we did buy Zynga yesterday. We had a false breakout to the downside. We had a nice V breakout to these lows. We broke down, reversed back up, had a V1, bought it at 836. Is up 3 cents today, is up 0.36%, but again, it's a down day, so I'm very grateful for that. Got kind of close to a profit target early this morning at 851, but didn't quite get there. But so far, so good. The two trades I took yesterday are green today. AGQ, Gary and Steve and I did buy AGQ with the 520 crossover. Bought it here at 58.87. The 520 crossover is a good approach to use on the AGQ, or I should say it does backtest well over time. Is down 1.9% today. The price is now under the 5 and the 20, which dictates that I would have to get out of half of my position. The 5 is still above the 20 itself. It's 57.81 compared to 57.69. So I will be following my rules, I will be getting out of half of my position now that the price did close below both the 5 and the 20. So this has been a losing trade. Another losing trade, Roku. Let's see. Johan and I bought Roku with the 520 crossover, which is a good back-tested approach, 168.52. Went up the next day, hit one profit target, which I'm grateful for, but then it's just been down, and it's been down. Again, here we have a close below both. It looks like it's going to close below both the 5 and the 20, and so therefore I will get out of half this position. I will get out of another half of the position when the 5 actually crosses under the 20. Intel, real quick, I did sell puts on Intel down to $45. When I sell puts, when I sell premium, I like to look on 3 time frames and look for a strike price that has support, technical support on multiple time frames. On the quarterly chart, we're back in the value zone. We have the 20 quarter moving average here. I'd like if it was above. But still decent support here back in the value zone, at least in value. On the monthly, the 50-month moving average is right here at just above 45, so that gives me some theoretical support, and the 1ATR channel is very close. And then on the weekly, the $45 strike price that I sold puts on has the 200-day above it, and it's near the 3rd ATR channel. So this particular trade has been positive ever since I entered the trade, but now it is slightly negative. I mean, very, very slightly negative, but it was nicely up in the money, and now it's negative, so that's a bummer. But like I said, I still have protection from 49.61 down to 45. And again, with all the support that I mentioned in the multiple time frames. Apple, I also sold puts on Apple. Oh, this is going to be a hard one because I had so many trades. I did sell puts, sold premium on Apple down to 77.50. The 77.50 on the monthly chart has support at the 1ATR channel and the 20-month EMA. So that makes sense to me on that time frame. The 77.50 also has support of the 50-week moving average above it. That also gives me some theoretical support. And on the daily, the 77.50 also has support above it of the 200 and the 250. That one is in the money nicely still, even though it is down today. Okay, so those are my positions. Let me show you the day trades. Had some really nice day trades today. First day trade was a short on Apple. here we had a false breakout to the upside and a V1 to the downside, and we also lost the 50 RSI on this move. So I shorted here at 109.69. Moved down nicely right away, nice and easy trade. Here we closed above the previous day's high, so I got out of half of my position. So shorted here at 109.69, got out of half my position at 109.15, kept the other half, went down, 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 went under 30, over 30, reject the negative third ATR channel. That was a good enough place for me to lock in, cover the rest of it at 108.07. So entered at 106.69, covered half at 109.15, covered the other half at 108.07. So, you know, it's always nice if you have a down day that you can try to take advantage of what the trend is of the day. And I was grateful that I had this nice short trade here. Then I put on my long hat. When we went under 30, over 30, false breakout to the downside V1, I went long here at 107.75. We moved up nicely, 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 nicely. Here we got to the 50 RSI and rejected it. So I got in 107.75. I got out of the other half at 108.31. It did move 1.5 ATRs from my entry. As soon as it does that, then I move what I haven't sold or phased out of, I move it to break even. So it came down here and hit break even. So, but I did make half the position from here at 107.75 up to 108.31. So that was good. And then the Qs. You know, this is a good example, everybody. Doesn't mean every trade is going to be positive, but you know, the ones that are not positive, they should be a small loss. I bought here when it went under 30, over 30. I bought here at 265.16. The very next bar, it closed under 30, so I had to get out at 264.84. So got in at 265.16, got out at 264.84 for a loss. But again, it was a small loss, and that's the key, everybody, is if you're right, let it run a little bit. If you're wrong, get out quickly. And I was wrong, and I got out very quickly. I took another trade here. I did not take this bar. I could have taken this bar. This was a legitimate entry, but I felt like it was a little chasey at the moment. We were right at the halfway of the big down bar. I remember I was on Skype with Kamal at the time I bought this. What I looked for was an entry here on the next bar if we held above the negative third ATR channel and we were halfway. We had a 50 Fibonacci retracement back to the halfway of the up bar. Pulled the trigger right here, which was a scary trade, but it gave me a very good risk to reward ratio. So I got in at 263.26 and then it moved up nicely, up. It moved more than 1.5 ATR for my entry, had a close below the previous day's low, so I got out of half. So I entered at 263.26. I got out of the other half at 264.69. And then 10 minutes later, we got very close to the 50 and came back down. And I decided, you know, it was enough profit. It was a good trade. It's a pretty crazy market. So I got out of the other half there. So I got in 263.26. I got out of half at 264.69. And I got out of the other half at 265.07. And then it continued way up without me, but that's okay. You know, when I studied with Dr. Alexander Elder, he always says enough is enough when it comes to profits. You know, he doesn't really have a particular exit style. His exit style is basically when it's enough, it's enough. When you look at it and it starts looking good and you're happy about the trade, that's enough for him, and he pulls the trigger on it, and that's kind of what I did there. So anyway, really good day trades today. Let's take a look here over at Johan has Bank of America. I bought this also at 25.60 with the V1 bullish engulfing bar, close above the moving averages. I did get out of this yesterday when it closed halfway below the washout bar, so I did take a small loss on that. Is down 4 cents today. So if there's any changes on that, Johan, let me know. Wing, Kamal took wing yesterday at 132. Intraday closed higher today. It was way up. It was up over like 3.5% or something, but then it came all the way back down to break even. And I just want to congratulate Kamal on being a mature trader, because he bought it here. It went way up, but when things go way up and then they come all the way back down, you know, why add insult to injury by letting a really nice gain turn into a loss? So no harm, no foul. He got out exactly break even. Unfortunately, of course, he wished it was up here, right? But break even trade is an acceptable trade. So Kamal is out of wing, but congratulations, Kamal, on the maturity of your trading and, you know, having a nice gain and getting out when it came back to even. Gold. Gary and Dan. Oh, I always forgot. Gosh darn it. Frank bought Apple at 113. That's 107.65 right now. So this is down. I don't see a lot of losses with Frank on his trades. Unfortunately, this is just one of those. We all have them closing under the 50s. So, okay, gold. Gary and Dan bought gold back here with the 520 crossover, 184.40. Initially went up, then went down, went up. We got another 520 cross here. I'm not sure if Gary and Dan took from here or was the new 520 cross. But anyway, gold is up today a little bit. The 520 crossover is still in place, but it's well off of its highs. It was up over $1. So underwater on this trade so far. Kamal, glad to see this one worked for Kamal. Kamal bought BMRN at 75.58. With the under 30, over 30, up 1.19%. Very nice, Kamal. So far, up 4.75% on this trade on a down day. So very good. IBB, okay. Anybody else? No, just Steve. So Steve did buy IBB with the 530 EMA crossover at 136.64. It's down 0.4% today, well off of its lows, which is nice. Nice big rally back up. Bought it at 136.64. Right now it is 135.58. So a little underwater on the trade so far. Alibaba. Steve also bought Alibaba 277.25 with the 520 crossover. It is now 273.83. It's down $1.90 today, about 0.69%. Looks like the 5 is still above the 20, but if there's any changes, let me know. Gary sold puts expiring today at 240. It's at 270. So Gary is going to keep all the money. It expires today. So congratulations, Gary. Intel. Bob bought Intel at way back here at 49.22. Boy, it's had a big move up and down and all over the place. It is down 1.17% today, but he is still up on the trade, so that's good. And Gary also sold November 20th 45.40 puts, meaning that as long as the price stays above $45, Gary will make the money on the spread, just like he did on Alibaba. IAU, Frank bought IAU at 1865. A gold ETF. This has been an up and downer. It's 181 at 1861. So just slightly down on the trade by 4 cents. FCFS. Bob bought FCFS. When did he buy this? This was a while ago, right? Yeah. 58.10. And it is 60.07. Down quite a bit today. It was up earlier, nicely earlier, but had a big reversal, but still nicely up on the trade. Silver. Kamal, Dan, Yas, and Quad bought silver at 25.19. Was positive for a while. Big down day yesterday, big reversal day, but down 1% today. And Gary also bought calls on silver. October 20th, 25 and 26 calls. So those are not in the money as of yet. USO, Kamal had a beautiful trade on USO at 27.06. It is now 29.19. This is a big trade. You can see Kamal having issues with that 50-day moving average up there, although we are above the 50 RSI, which is a good sign. But if it closed below the 50, that would be a little bit of a warning sign. But up 7.3%. I'll tell you what, Kamal has had some really nice trades lately. And if you've been in this channel a while, you know that Kamal has some monster trades, then has a little lull, then has monster trades again. Southern Company, Carol bought Southern at 51.76. It is 53.07, so up nicely on the trade. NOC is Evan. Evan bought NOC, which is Northrop Grumman, at 340.03. It is in the money now, 342.22. IWC, Steve bought IWC with the 1030 EMA crossover at 94.37. Right now it is 94.39. So is positive by 2 cents. It was not looking so good yesterday, but had a nice rally today. We do have a MACD crossover today, so that is supportive of the trade. SQ, Johan bought SQ back here with the 520 crossover at 151.08. It is now 144.12. It is down 1% today. I don't know if you're still in it or you got out of it yesterday. I know Steve got out of it yesterday, but you can let me know. Alibaba, we already talked about Alibaba, so I have that up there twice. Gold miners, yes, bought GDXJ, which is the junior gold miners at 58.35. It is at 60.79, down today, but still nicely up on the trade. Johan had a nice return to value V2 on UAL, bought it at 36.75, moved up nicely. I don't know if Johan took any profits. I kind of hope so. Back to even now. So this looks like it got pretty close to being 1.5 ATRs from the entry. I'm not 100% sure. But right now it is back to his entry price. So hopefully there was some scaling out in there somewhere. UGL, Steve bought UGL based upon the 520 cross on GLD at 74.30. It's at 74.67 up today, but just a little down on the trade. Gary also bought calls on, I think that was back there. Gary bought calls on LVS, which is Las Vegas Sands Corp. The $50 strike price expiring in November. It is now 49.07. It is down a penny today, and it is not in the money on the call yet. It'd have to be above 50, but up a little bit today. And Bob with the Tortoise Acquisition Group, I remember this trade yesterday, 46.68, up 3.53% today. So very, very nice on a down day like that. So anyway, there we go. We had some winners, we had some losers. I haven't seen any big losses that anyone's holding on to. So, that's the key. Everybody's just to, be brave, hold on to it, have the guts to hold on to it, phase out on the upside, do whatever you want on the upside, honestly. But the one thing you can't do anything you want with is to the downside. And if it goes down, you have to just get out. Okay, let's quickly talk a little bit about trader psychology before, and then we'll move on and we'll take a look at the potential end of day candidates for my end of day trade. Great Facebook and Twitter channels out there with some really good traders, educators, authors that put out great information. And of course, my favorite, Stephen Burns. This is on Facebook from the New Traders, Rich Traders. If you haven't joined this group on Facebook and you're on Facebook, come on over and apply to the channel. It's a really good channel. Kamal's in there, Steve's in there, I'm in there, Tom Bassel's in there, a bunch of people in there. But thank you so much, Steve, for posting this good saying. And let's take a look what Steve has to say. A trader who understands only a quantified trading system with an edge creates profits doesn't have an opinion about the markets. A trader who understands only a quantified trading system with an edge creates profits doesn't have an opinion about the market. You will make your life so much easier if you come up with a good trading plan using, containing good trading principles, cutting your loss quickly, buying above support, selling at resistance, keeping those losses small. then you don't have to guess about the market. If I had to just guess about the market, I would always be wrong. I'm telling you. And I like economics and I like trying to figure this stuff out. But every time I do it, I'll tell you what, it just doesn't work. Whenever I follow my signals, regardless of what my mind is telling me about why it shouldn't work, that's when I make money. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't make money. So, follow your signals, be a price action trader, and it just takes so much stress and agony off your mind without having to, figure out macroeconomics or what this report's going to be or what that report's going to be. So let's do it one more time. A trader who understands only a quantified trading system. Quantified means, you're adjusting for position size, you know exactly where you're getting in, you know exactly where you're getting out, and that the back test on the approach does back test positively. That's a quantified trading system with an edge, shows that there's an edge, creates profits, doesn't have an opinion about the market. So thank you, Steve. I know I do a lot of quotes, on and around and about this same principle, but it's so important that I like to do the repetition. And by the way, Steve, thank you very much for including me on your list today on Twitter as the one-on-one mentor. I really, really appreciate that, sir. Okay. Oh, Steve is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for all the great content that you put out on Twitter and Facebook every day that makes us better traders and investors. And if you haven't been over to Steve's website, newtraderu.com, he has great books, great e-courses that you can take. I've taken them all. I've studied one-on-one with Steve, and I've really enjoyed it and made a huge difference. So I can't say enough good things about Steve Burns, and I appreciate you being here, Steve. William is here. Hey, William. Hello, all. Hello, Greg. Hope everyone is well. Trading with caution. Thank you. That's good advice. Quad says, good afternoon, Greg and group. Happy Friday. I'm seeing lots of red on my charts, though. That's true. Quad says, just to refresh my brokerage. And hey, Zynga is positive again. That's right. Did you ever have any doubt? I did. I did, but I'm glad it's positive. Gary said, I worked with Lizanne Saunders at Charles Schwab from 1995 to 2003. Oh, that's right. Gary did work at Schwab. Well, tell her hi if you see her again. Tell her I'm sorry for skipping the one overnight trade that she's never forgiven me. Chris, how you doing, Chris? Good afternoon. Dan, Gary, did she ever mention Greg? You know how she is. She likes to keep it on the down low. Steve says, hello, everyone. Quad witching week is almost over. Yes, 21 minutes. Frank says, I think Lizanne was one of Louis Rukeyser's elves. I used to listen to Louis Rukeyser when I was started listening to him when I was 15 or 16 years old. Mount Doji, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Dan says, I'm looking to reload silver today if I like how it falls. All right. Well, let us know what happens. Thoughts on Twitter? Pretty good, I have to say. Twitter is pretty good. Higher low V1, 520 crossover. As a matter of fact, that may be one of my favorite ones today, Mount Doji. Let me quickly do some math here because I might be interested in taking that at the end of the day. Overall, the moving averages, 520 crossover, higher low V2. Let's check out the weekly. Weekly held support of the 1 ATR channel. Not bad. That's a potential. Let me put Twitter down here. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm somewhat interested in that. Frank says, I'm okay on Apple. I position to my comfort zone and prepare for trouble. Okay, that's all you can do, right? Chris says, I think that if you take Apple at the close, you will be in the green by Monday or a few days after. We shall see, Chris, huh? Why do you say that, by the way? I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just wondering what your thinking is. Johan says, I exited BAC and Square last night. Okay, good to hear that. Oh, well, BAC's up, and I'm glad to hear that you got out of Square. Whenever I see your positions, I really root for you guys when I see these positions. When I wake up and I see, some of your positions aren't doing well, I'm just like, And then if I don't hear from you and I see them down, I'm like, oh man, I was literally thinking to myself, it's like, I hope that Johan got out of Square. I'm glad to hear that. Frank says, maybe Chris, but I love Apple long-term. Chris says, yes, I have it long-term, but I play when I can. Chris says, I was out today, but jumped back in an hour ago, 106 with 9,000 shares. Wow. 106, what's it at? 107.83. So Chris made over 9,000 bucks. Whoa. Very nice, Chris. Johan says, took some profits on the way up with UAL and closed it back even. Perfect. Perfect. Kamal says, Steve Byrne, this is perfect. No opinion mode is Zen. Steve says, great way to describe it, Kamal. Zen trading. COVID-19 stock, CCL, Norwegian, Dow, down 4%. Oh, so they're down, huh? The COVID stocks. They're getting beat up today. Let's take a look. Carnival. Yes, down 6%. All right. Brian says, hey, Gary, I'm sure Liz Ann mentioned Greg twice a day at the close, first thing at the open. I hope so. I would be offended if she didn't. William, how you doing, William? Hello, good PM. At what instances, why? William, I'm not sure I understand that. Quad says, just applied to the new traders, rich traders group. Good. Hello. In what instance skill you not buy SPY overnight? Well, I've only skipped it one day, and I don't really look at it as any skill or not. At the time, the market was just so brutal and so volatile. I got scared, to be honest with you. I mean, if you were trading back then, it was an apocalypse. But generally, I just buy it. I've only skipped one day. All right, PD, pager duty. I've seen this one before. Yeah, that looks pretty good. V2, that's not bad. Nice V2, higher V2 close above the 200. Let's look over on the weekly. Ooh, that big down bar back then on the weekly concerns me a little bit, but not too bad. It's a good risk to reward ratio with a higher low break back above the 200 and a V2. MSCI. No, I don't like that one, Johan. It's a V2, but has the 100 above, has a -1 ATR above. I'd like this if it happened in the 30 range, but not here. PD, oh, we just looked at that one. PD is pretty good. PD is pretty good, I have to say. Steve says, I'm surprised half my positions are green today. I know, it's always nice, right? I'm taking my Roku risk off today. Exiting as being down over 5% intraday is just too much for me. Okay. I thought you got out of Roku yesterday, Steve. At least I took you off. William says, you've been so faithful with SPY, you probably feel guilty. I did. I only missed it one day, but I was a little disappointed in myself. All right. Tracy, AXP. Yeah, I don't like this here, Tracy, because we have a V1 to the downside. We rejected the 1 HER channel above, and we are now below the 200-day moving average. I would rather see American Express come into the value zone, have some sideways motion, and then a V1 or V2. Oh, you got out of square yesterday. Okay. All right. I don't know why I'm putting this up. I'm just putting it down. Sorry. I'll tell you what, on my end, everybody, keeping all these trades straight is something you have to work on. It's not that easy. It is not that easy, but I do my best. All right. Let me take a quick look real quick before I look for new trades. Again, I bought Eli Lilly yesterday. It's up 0.77%. It looks like it's going to close below the 50-day moving average, in which case I am going to have to get out of half of my positions. It's a red flag, and therefore I will get out of half of my position. Whatever I have left, I did hit a profit target, but if it closes under the 50-day moving average, that's my sign. Zanga up like a champion, up 0.72%. That's great. AGQ, still holding the 520 cross, but I'm getting out of half because it's closing under both. Roku, I'm getting out of half because it's closing under both. All right, let's take a look at some new trades here while we still have some time. J&J, I kind of like J&J. We have a return to value. We made a lower high, but we washed out the low. Now we have a nice V2. We are above the 50 RSI. We're above the moving averages. We've gone red to green on the bar. So Johnson & Johnson is definitely a potential for me. MCK was better earlier, but it's already rejected 50, so we'll add that in the no bin. Stamps.com is a V2. I don't like the area that it's in, so I'll get rid of that. JP Morgan, green on the day, already rejected the 50-day moving average above, so that's a bad sign. EVRG, I don't see anything here that interests me in that. Twitter, higher low V2 above the 50 RSI, above the moving averages. That one is definitely a possibility. SWIR under 30, over 30, under the 100-day moving average back over. Lots of good things going on here. False breakout. I would take this trade in a heartbeat, but it only has 118,000 shares traded today. So that blocks me. That's a volume filter that I have. It's too low a volume, so I can't take that, unfortunately, because I really like that setup. CLNE, it's pretty dang strong. It's a higher low V2, although it looks a little chasey. It seems a little chasey to me. Let's look over on the weekly. It's okay. You know, my stop's going to be halfway the washout bar down here. I just don't think it makes sense from a risk to reward ratio, but it is a very strong move for sure. FTNT, Fortnite. Working on a V2, has that 200 right above. If we had a double bottom with the bullish divergence or something, I would be more interested, but as is, no. Nice. Looks like it already rejected the 50. And by the way, you see me going through these very quickly, but ideally you should be able to go through very quickly. And because I'm always on underneath the gun with the time, I have to go through pretty quickly, but it's a good thing because I don't sit and try to make something out of the chart. I just see it. It's either good or it's bad. You know, we can all sit in front of the chart with our protractors and come up with a reason we can buy something, but it should really jump off the screen at you. It should just jump off the screen. It should say, I'm a great trader. It should just grab, Dr. Alexander Eller said, it should grab you by the face and pull you into the screen. Well, you know, VIX, yeah, it's sideways motion of V1 off of its highs. I just don't think I'm going to mess with VIX. CarMax had a V2 earlier, but not anymore. Camp, CalAmp Corp, higher low V2. Let me take intraday look at the volume. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at this in the last minute. But see the bars? See how you can go 1 minute and nothing's even traded? So that, yeah, 209,000 shares. So that's not enough. So to me, the best looking ones here are Johnson & Johnson, as long as it closes above 50, and Twitter looks pretty good as well. Johnson & Johnson looks like it bounced off the 50 RSI on the week and has a V1. Twitter, I'll tell you what, either of them are pretty good. Twitter is really strong here with the up 1.91% on a down day. But I have Apple puts, I have Intel puts. So I do have some tech exposure already. So that being said, if I didn't own these other tech companies, remember I talk about correlation. If I didn't own these, I would buy Twitter today. But because I already have tech exposure to tech, I'm not going to buy it. Johnson & Johnson, however, is a different kind of industry. As long as it closes above the 50, I will keep it. Now, real quick, before I get to those other trades, oh, Eli Lilly's now above the 50. I'm not complaining, but I'm going to have to watch it. Zynga is fine. AGQ, I have to sell half. Roku, I have to sell half. Oh, did we have a big down move here in the last few minutes? Yes, we did. Look at that. Okay, I just sold half of AGQ. Roku. Eli Lilly is right there at that 50. So it's going to make me do a photo finish. 153.96. We're at 154.05. So far, it's a keeper as is. I sold AGQ, half of AGQ with the close below both the 5 and the 10. Roku, I sold half. Yeah, Twitter's strong. Like I said, I would take Twitter, but because I sold puts on Apple and Intel, obviously those are tech related, I'm just going to pass. But I do like that trade. And my stop, if I did take the trade, it will be a close below halfway of the washout bar. Yesterday was the washout bar. And if it does, you have support of the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50 RSI, and the 50 fib on there. So there's a lot of support on that trade. No doubt about it. Doesn't mean it's going to go up, but it does make sense from a good trade. But because I talk about correlation, I just want to set a good example. And I already have a bunch of tech with puts that I've sold. So I'm just going to have to let that one go, and then possibly enter Johnson & Johnson here. I do like J&J. All right, how much time do we have left? Okay. Goldman Sachs. The unnameable. The symbol never to be spoken, right? All right, Eli Lilly, how you doing? Doing fantastic. Keep on up there. Of course, I will be buying the SPY at the end of the day as well, of course. All right, I'm going to buy Johnson & Johnson right here, right now. All right, so Johnson & Johnson is taken care of. And really, the only thing I have to look at here is Eli Lilly, which looks strong. All right. Oh, look at this down bar on Apple, everybody, this last 5 minutes. Holy smokes. Is that the same with the Qs? No. But Apple, man alive. All right. Back to Lilly, which is doing great. Zynga doing pretty well. All right, Lily's trying to hold above the 40, above the 50. But I have my finger on the trigger here. If it closes under, I'll get out of half. 1 minute to go. Oh, Lilly closing on its high. Nice. And Zynga closing on its high. That's also good. About 30 seconds. It's going to be close. No. It held. It held. So that's good. Okay. $49.52 and SPY at 330.65. Okay, so I did buy the SPY today at the close at 330.65. Okay. And I also bought J&J. Oh, I bought that one a little early, Greg. Bought that one at 149.52. But it did still, so that must have sold off in the last 5 minutes or so. In the last minute, let's take a look. Yep. All right, but it did hold above the 50. That would have been a bummer if I would have bought it and then realized that it closed under the 50. But it still did hold. It held the 20-day, it held the 50 RSI, held the 50-day moving average, so it's fine. My stop will be closed below halfway the washout bar, which will be right here. If it closes below that on Monday, I'll just have to go ahead, take the loss. That's my plan. If it moves on up, I'll scale out, and I think this offers a good risk to reward, but we shall see. We shall see. The Qs, no, Frank doesn't have the Qs. Frank has Apple, Greg. Okay, got it. All right. Well, listen, this is the time. If you have any new entries or exits for me, please put them in the chat and I'll get them all taken care of. Just real quick before I do, just want to do my quick daily plug. Hope that's okay with you. Just want to remind everybody that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a course that is 15 hours one-on-one for 15 hours, 5 sessions, 3 hours per session. I have been trading for over 24 years. I have a lot of experience. I have traded one-on-one extensively with some really great traders and authors out there that you know of course, Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. I've studied one-on-one with each one of these gentlemen, and the course that I take everything I've combined from these 4 traders and my experience and combined it into one course, and that's what I teach you. We talk about everything: entries, exits, intermediate term profit targets, emergency profit targets, ultimate profit targets, phasing out, position sizing, all sorts of different setups based upon different type of market conditions. So I think it's a great course. It's $1,000, but I think it's worth every penny. I think it honestly is worth a lot more than that. And I think when you get done with the course, you'll be glad you took it. I think you'll have a good idea about how to handle trades, whatever the market is doing. So if you're interested in taking the course with me, I know you'll like it. I know you'll be glad that you did. So if you want to start that process, just reach out to me. Send me an email. The email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. I'm at Gossett Trading. And if you reach out to me, I'll reply and say, hey, how's it going? Thanks for saying hello. Let's set up a Skype call. The Skype call, the only purpose of the Skype call, it's not a sales call. The purpose of the Skype call is just for us to get to know each other, for me to ask you questions about your trading and your goals and your trading challenges. It's a good time for you to ask me questions about the course. And when we're done with the call, like I said, I will not put you on the spot to take the trade. I'm not like that. I'll just say, hey, it's nice talking to you. Think it over. And if you decide you want to take the course with me, you can email me back. All right. So if you've been thinking about it, it's a good time. I just got done teaching a bunch of students, so I have some time. So you could get right in. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I really would appreciate it if you could just take half a second and hit the thumbs up button before you click out of here. It just helps the channel, helps build the channel, helps keep the channel around, and lets YouTube know that there's some positive content on this channel. So if you do like it, and if you found it, if it was a positive thing for you, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Okay, now. All right, I already told you where I got in Johnson & Johnson, right? 149.52. And the SPY at 330.65. I did keep Eli Lilly up over 1% today. If it had rejected the 50, I would have gotten out, but I did hit one profit target, which is nice. So this is working out nicely. Zynga up 0.95%. So that's really great. That's really great. AGQ, I got out of half of my AGQ because the price closed below both the 5 and the 20. If the 5 then crosses under the 20, I'll get out of the second half. Roku, I got out of half of my position. I know Steve got out here, but I held on to half my position because the 5 is still above the 20. And then Intel, Apple, I have puts on, and then I enter Johnson & Johnson here at 142.52. Okay. So let's go back up here. Liz Ann Saunders. Okay, we got out of BAC and Square for Johan. Chris had a nice trade on Apple. Steve got out of Square yesterday. Yes, I did get that one. Chris says, so what I discovered is whenever a stock closes with a red candle, and that is extending away from the 9-day moving average, that you can take an overnight trade. This is providing it's in a downtrend. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Chris. If it's a red candle and pulling and extending away from the 9. So that's what we discovered. Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you. Glenn says, financials XLF led the pack with tech, XLK, and energy trailing. Is the market rotating into financials with expectations of long-term interest rates rising? There has been a lot of rotation, Glenn, and it's certainly come out of tech, and it is going somewhere. And I believe it is in financials as well. I know some end value companies. I know the value funds have seen a huge inflow of funds lately. Chris says, I do it all the time, overnight trades. Oh, okay. Quad says, Steve Burns, first name is Anthony, photo is Star Wars themed. Brian says, negative news about opioid lawsuit with J&J. Oh, they always seem to have those, don't they? Seems like you've been hearing about opioid and J&J in the same sentence for a long time. Okay, so pager duty. Kamal has pager duty. Yeah, I like that. It's pretty good. Pretty good setup, I have to say. Doesn't mean it's going to be positive, but it does look pretty good. Okay, got you there, Kamal. Kamal, did you get into GS? Or you just wanted me to look at it? I exited Roku with a 4.5% loss here to lower risk exposure as I was down 5%. Okay, I've got you off of that. Brian says Netflix. Sorry, I know the market's closed, but I didn't see. Yeah, I don't see anything here on Netflix. To me, Netflix is either going to have to go down further or up further for me to be interested in this. Down here near the 30 RSI, near the negative 30 ATR channel, that would offer a good risk to reward ratio. Or I think maybe with the 520 crossover the upside. So sometimes, it's counterintuitive, but sometimes stocks are stuck like in purgatory. They're in the middle. They're in no man's land. They either have to go down further for me to get interested or up further. And right now, Facebook is just in kind of that no man's land. Frank says, I'll pretend I didn't read that, Kamal. That's right. Okay, so Kamal locked in profits on USO. Very nice, Kamal. Beautiful trade, like 7%. Kamal is back. And PD, okay, I just put you in PD. Johan is out of Roku. Okay. He's in Twitter. Yeah, I don't blame you. I like that Twitter trade. Not Witter, Greg. Twitter. Yeah, I like that trade. Okay. And J&J. Dan says, no need for making any notes, but I did reload silver. Okay, I've got you on silver already, so we'll just leave it as is. Yas is also in Twitter. Yeah, I tell you, I like that trade. Doesn't mean it's going to go up, but it was up down. It was up nicely on a big day down. David is also in Twitter. Now I'm like, why didn't I take Twitter? But you know why I didn't. Gary says, happy Friday, everyone. No new trades. Have a great weekend. Hey, congratulations on your Alibaba spreads expiring, and you got all the money. Very nice, Gary. David says, happy weekend all. Thank you, David. Hope you're doing well. Hope the rehab's coming along with the shoulder. Miko says, thanks, Greg. Have a great weekend, everyone. You too, Miko. You too. Hey, I got something real quick for you. This is from my sister. Make someone smile today. Tell them how much they mean to you. You'll both feel good. You can't go wrong with something like that, right? Make someone smile today. Tell them how much they mean to you. You'll both feel good. That sounds like a win-win to me. I saw that and I was like, that's just simple and right to the point. And I think everybody should read this and do that. Make someone smile today. Tell them how much they mean to you. You'll both feel good. You'll really make somebody's day by saying that. Okay. Thanks for my sister there. Dan says, Gary, wow, what a trade. Okay. So let me see what the old QQ did in the last minute. Yeah. And the old Apple. Boy, that big bar there, that really showed, right? With the small little bars and then the big bump. Yeah. Not used to seeing Apple. My gosh, this thing was $137 a couple weeks ago. Now it's $106.70. There has definitely been a rotation. What is our friend Tesla doing? Oh, down 4% today. And what about Mr. VIX? Oh, it ended up 18 cents. You would think it would end up more, right? What's happening in the after hours market here? Apple's up 8 cents. Intel's up 11 cents. J&J's up 40 cents. That's fantastic. Eli Lilly is up 34 cents. That's fantastic. Q's are up 19 cents. SPY is up 80 cents. Maybe I better just sell my overnight SPY trade right now. Bank that 80. Nah, I'll keep it. And Zynga's down 5 cents. Boo. So I'm teaching tonight with Marcus. So Marcus, if you're out there, I'm looking forward to our lesson tonight at 6:30. Frank says, it was your closing words, Greg, when I helped the truck driver last week who was having a problem. I helped direct traffic so he could park his 18-wheeler. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Frank. It was my closing words about doing something nice for somebody. Well, see how it works, right? See how it works. Just say something, and I'm glad you listened, and I'm glad you helped him out, and I'm sure he appreciated it, and maybe he would, help somebody out later that day. That's very nice of you, Frank. Thank you for doing that. I'll say it right now, right? Try to do something nice for somebody every day, just a smile or a wave or hello, or help direct traffic when somebody's trying to park their 18-wheeler, or just whatever. I mean, made that guy feel good, and he appreciated it, and it probably helped his day out, and he may have gone and done it. So thank you, Frank. But yeah, let's all remember that. Just try to do something nice for somebody every day, and just help somebody out a little bit. Doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be a gesture. Give them a bite of your donut. I don't know, something, right? Buy them a cold drink, And also, if you could try to do something nice for an animal every day, that would be twice as good if you could do one for a human and an animal, because animals certainly appreciate that as well. So if we could do that, that would be really, really good. Jose says, excellent session. Nice weekend, everyone. Thank you, Jose. Thank you for coming by, and I hope you can come back. And I hope you have a nice weekend as well. So tonight, looking forward to the Lakers game, although I'm not going to be able to watch it. I'm looking forward to the Lakers-Denver Nuggets game in the Eastern Conference Finals, so that should be interesting. Dan says, thumbs up, everybody. Oh, yeah, that's right. If you like today's podcast, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up. And I'll tell you what, I like that Twitter trade. I really hope that goes up for you, but I really like that trade. But again, the reason I didn't take it is that I do have quite a large position in Apple and in Intel. So I just feel like adding another tech stock on here sets a bad example. If I lighten up on some of the puts, then maybe I'll consider it. But when I say take correlation into consideration, I really mean it. I really mean it, everybody. If it goes up, man, it's fantastic. You have 4 tech stocks and goes up, it's great. But if they go down, and they usually go down together, it's not so great. But I do like Twitter. I like Twitter a lot. I really especially like that it's up on a down day. If I wasn't teaching and I was looking at Twitter earlier, I would definitely have been looking intraday for an intraday trade, showing that Twitter was green while the rest of the market was red. Hey, look, I'm not saying 100% I would have taken this, but I would have considered taking this 5-minute close over the 200-day intraday, giving me a good risk to reward ratio, and that would have been a fantastic trade. But what would have interested me was that the stock was up while the market was down. Relative strength is something. In Kamal's scanner, he has it programmed so that if it is up when the market's down, it gets extra brownie points, extra bonus points on its score. I'm actually kind of surprised that Twitter didn't show up on the scan, Kamal. At least I didn't see it. But yeah, that's a good example of, if you're looking for a day trade, looking for something that's doing well when the market's not doing well, it gives you a little extra confidence that there is demand for that. And if the market turns around, it's probably going to go zooming up more than the rest. So, that's why I have been shorting Apple the last couple days with some really nice trades because of how weak it's been. So if the market's strong and a stock's weak on an intraday basis, my bias will be to the short side. If the market's down and it's strong and its stock is strong intraday, my bias will be to the upside. Man, I'm so glad to hear that Frank helped out that trucker. My brother is a trucker, so he would appreciate that. I know that. Okay, everybody. Well, listen. If there's any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to put on my hiking boots and my coat. It's a little cold today. Head out for a little walk, get some fresh air, stomp around up in the mountains, come back, grab a little food, and then settle in for my lesson with Marcus tonight. All right. Well, I think that's it. Have a good weekend, everybody. Be good. Be safe. Study your charts. Do something nice for somebody and also for an animal. Hit the thumbs up button. And Hopefully I'll see you on Monday during the last hour of the market. Take care, everyone, and thanks a lot for coming. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity.